Liz is an artist, acupuncturist, and writer of creative nonfiction. Her essays and reviews have appeared in publications including The Rumpus, Brain Mill, Pigeon Pages, Mother, Phoebe, Gertrude, Entropy, and The Collagist, and in the anthologies The Dream Closet and The Untold Gaze. She also teaches classes in creative expression using sensory practice and visualization to help clients and students discover and source new material and learn to be more at peace with ourselves. And she hosts the somatic storytelling podcast, Bodyland, Metaphor Medicine, and is a talented visual artist. It's clear that I can't introduce Liz, the writer, without taking into account the artist who works with gesture and sound, who centers both her business and her creative work around what she calls the creative process of conscientious making. This is a creator that is grounded in the body, the senses, flowing from the nexus where body and spirit meet. Her writing flows with it, whether she is probing the reverberations of growing up Southern and Jewish and queer in 1980s suburbia, or recounting the complex tendrils of spirituality and sexuality and time and place that undergird a life. We read her work wrapped with our whole selves. Please join me in welcoming the lovely Liz Asch Greenhill.
Thank you. That was such a beautiful introduction, Lisa. Thank you both for having me here. Is that better? It's so nice to be here. It's such a beautiful community. It's a beautiful place. These amazing writers, all of us. Thank you. So I'm going to read the beginning of an essay, which is in my book called Recto Verso. My book lives in my computer. It's not something you can hold in your hands yet, but I hope it will be soon. So this is the beginning of a piece called An Image in Lines. It's an experiment in acts of writing and drawing and the way that they overlap and how to play with that. And so I'll just read you the beginning. Thanks for listening. A line on a page starts a drawing. Letters on the page assemble into a line of text. Line, same word, different meaning. This is an experiment in building both kinds of lines at once, testing language to mimic the gesture and sketch and layering of drawing. My materials are 5 lines of text, each following a visual line, this against a background of the ocean. The lines are built of their images and superimposed atop the tangled texture of the sea and the rays of thought that stem from inquiry, along with the trail of the essay, as in a fairy tale, as I puzzle out the process. I'm tracing and drawing these lines with the hope that I might make a map, one that unveils a hidden topography within. The 5 lines are a jag of sunlight, the grid of a tile floor, a fringe of fabric, the start of a still life painting, and the edge of the body. Each one hones to a memory. All around us are lines of the canyons and mountains and forests and clouds and the sea. I cannot begin with my own lines of thought before including something of the natural world to hold it all. So for this drawing narrative, I pick one natural wonder, the majestic ocean. The texture to be the texture beneath us, humming, connecting. The sea will be the place we come back to in search of our place. Each time I come to the foot of the ocean, I lose my breath, just for a moment. Seeing the sea takes the wind out of me, and I often feel displaced as I try to adjust to its enormity. And of course, at the same time, I love the ocean and the shoreline, and the whole experience of it is something I crave. It's both so familiar and also so inconceivable. I find I yearn for it, and it is hard to take in, the vastness, the depth. In a sense, what the eyes see, they absorb into comprehension, and I find it impossible to absorb all that water. Why do I respond with both push and pull? This thirst for something impossible to drink. When we try to draw the ocean, what we attempt to replicate is its skin, like the skin of boiled milk on a pudding. The texture of the water where it meets the air, the sprawling tapestry of its surface, a glinting weave of light and shadow, the tracings of the wind. Still, but endlessly undulating, flat, but deeper than we can hold in the mind, and always moving, the same recognized pattern over and over. A body of water, we call it, a body, hammocked tight to the arch of the earth, tacked between the coastal edges of continents. It has a shape, held together by hydrophilia, a love of itself. When I try to draw the ocean to depict the textured weave of tiny waves and tufts of white, I get mired in the enormity and in the subtlety and in the layering and wavering, and I get lost. I grow impatiently unfaithful to its delicate realism, and I falsify an irregular regularity. It's unconvincing. Instead of drawing water from land, I end up swimming. Have you ever tried to draw the ocean? To place your finger on the weave of one of 1,000 waves and try to recreate them all on paper? There's an artist who does it really well, Mia Salmons. She etches and draws images of the sea with an exacting realism. In her Ocean Surfaces series, Salmons resurrects the wavering immensity of the ocean into a two-dimensional art form. She distills liquid volume into line, in scratch marks on an etching plate, graphite on paper, ink, and paint. She compresses the brine and heave of the sea into a window you can see it through. There it is, a square of the ocean, like a recipe dog-eared in a cookbook, preserved for your memory, its taste on your tongue, salt sweat, brine, sea hurl, foam, the tang of sour fish, the grit of metallic sand. I'm here sketching a sense of the sea. Here's the horizon line, and the tide lines washing up in layers, a new on each breath, and the body within it, ridges of toes against the sand, long stroke of the leg against blue, crescent of head, ear to ear. And within that silhouette, incubate the 5 lines of this piece, a line of sunlight breaking through the clouds like a ripped stage curtain, a jagged slant of blinding gold. A child squatting on a blue tile floor, her finger tracing the white squares of grout, her outstretched reach, armpit to index finger to the gutter of the tile. A teenage girl peering down her shirt to this new cleavage, the seagull wing-shaped lace of her mother's stolen bra, wondering, does this make her a woman? And the curve that mimics the rounded mounds of apricots snug in a wooden bowl atop pleats of gray velvet. And then the line of my legs extending from the chair as I write this, my toes seeking a place to fit among the zigzag patterns of the rug. Let's look at a line. What is a line really? The edge of an object or a shadow, a mark, a scratch, a curve. A line is what separates one color, thing, being from another. There are so many lines all around us, lines that separate us and lines that define us. I guess when I'm talking about lines, I'm really talking about intimacy. I'm talking about you and me and all the lines between us. Come closer. If you consent to be in this essay and to be a line, read on. If not, skip to the next chapter. Or in our case, stay put and listen. Or if not, zone out. Or sashay out the door. Feel my finger at the center point of your hairline. Now down your forehead, over the ridge of your nose, through the divot above your mouth, the ins and outs of your lips, center line of the chin, down the neck to just below the cleft of your collarbone. There, a line. That's all it is, this. The line of your face burning at the tip of my finger. This is your line, lifted from your profile, and we are bringing it into the drawing to be included among all the other lines because you are in this book too. Your fingers are all over the pages. Your breath brushes against these letters. There is this line of you falling like a loose hair across the page. Let's imagine it together. Your line suspended in the air, your quivering silhouette. We're taking it with us while we explore building a drawing together. Line 1, and then it goes into all the other